Welcome, welcome, welcome to Dropping a Morning Log with Jivko.
Hello, good morning. So something I was just considering is, you know how when you're a kid and your parents want to take a picture, they always say, smile for the camera. See, my question is, why does everyone have to smile for the camera? Why don't they just express their whatever they're feeling? I think it'd be way more authentic if someone just says, oh hey, let's take a photo of this moment. And then no one says smile, no one says cheese, no one says any of this bullshit. And then you're just like, oh, 3, 2, 1, snap. And then no one wants to continue this trend of smiling for whatever reason. If you really are not feeling like smiling, like if a child really does not feel like smiling, they're probably not going to smile. But as you grow older, you become more and more inundated into the system of looking happy, even though you might not be in that moment. But the thing is, I think that it would make a lot more of an authentic feeling and story when you look at a photo of a time and you actually might remember what was happening at that moment a little better. Because looking at photos, every photo looks the same unless you look at the background and or what you're wearing or something other than your face smiling. I think, and this is just my opinion, it would be way more interesting of a household, let's say, if you look around at all the pictures and there's different emotions. I think it's important to understand the different times you've been through, and maybe you want to be reminded of those times. Isn't that why we put pictures up? What is the point of falsifying the moment and being disingenuous with your feelings at that time if later you're not gonna look back at that photo and say, you know, I might not have been happy at that time. I might have been mad or struggling with something, but it's a moment when maybe these people came to my aid, or maybe you were just feeling calm, or perhaps you didn't feel anything at all. But I think it's important to think about that before you start teaching your kids and more or less yourself as well, to fall into the grooves of where society is already gone and making us think that every moment that we take a photo we should look happy. I remember moments in time where my parents would be nudging me or even getting mad when we're taking a photo and I'm not smiling. I mean, given more than likely I was making a face at the camera more than anything else. And I remember some of the shots were coming out perfect because the moments in time just before my parents would smile, the camera caught them being angry with me for not smiling. I think it's just extremely silly that we've been taught this to begin with. Maybe when it comes to teaching a kid about how they should look in a photo, and I'm talking a young kid, we should tell them that it's good to look nice for a photo, but at the same time, show what you're feeling at the time. You don't have to smile if you don't want to smile. But I do remember one day way back when I was in preschool, and I remember vividly that I hated the shit out of preschool. I went to a preschool in the city where this Polish lady ran it, and I remember I would always be sick or not really enjoy the cereal, or I would always be throwing stuff up for whatever reason. And who knows, maybe some fucked up shit was going on. They were feeding me some weird ass cereals. Or maybe they were putting stuff in the cereals. Who knows? I highly doubt that though. That's a conspiracy theory for another time. But I remember it being my birthday one day, and I was taking a photo for a card, and I was on top of this castle-themed indoor playground playset, and I ended up getting a photo taken of me that day. And right before they took the photo, I smiled. For the first time they've probably ever seen a smile come from my face. And I will never be able to forget the reaction of the Polish lady that was taking the picture, that was running the place. She was in utter shock, and just this giant grin spread across her face of, holy shit, this kid can smile. This is incredible. But I'll never forget that day, because it was such a bizarre moment in my childhood. But yeah, I realized maybe not every kid who was there as sad and upset as I was at that preschool had smiled in that moment, or was able to. But once I gave a big smile, I saw how it made everyone happy, to my surprise, in that very moment. So the thing is, sometimes a smile could pay off and change someone's day, or who knows, change how they feel about you. But also the reason why I hated that place is because that bitch would spank me pretty much every time it was breakfast time or whatever, because who the fuck knows, maybe she thought that would make me want to eat their cereal more and be a calmer kid. Either way, fuck that bitch. It's the only smile she'll ever get. And it was not for her, it was for my family to have a card with a photo of me smiling there. But looking back on it, I think it would have actually made for a more genuine story and made me more easily remember the time, if I actually did express my feelings and give like a mopey face or whatever. Sure, it made the picture nicer and made me look like I was having a good time the moment I smiled, but I don't think it makes any sense to be forcing something like that. But in that instance, I think it was all me on that smile. I know it was all me. It was certainly not forced by that crazy bitch or anyone else there. It was all me for me. It was my goddamn birthday, and I was wearing a purple crown made of paper with painted colored jewels. So long story short, it makes sense to me not to be fake when taking photos, and I don't think this is the first time I've had this thought. Because looking back more recently, I haven't been smiling in all my photos. I either go up for a cheers with a small smirk, or I smile with my eyebrows, or what have you. Unless I'm really out of the great crowd and feeling truly blessed and loved by the people around me at that time in that moment, then I really let a smile rip. It's like ripping a fart, but ripping a smile. Alright, anyway, that's about it for today. So next time someone asks you if you want to take a photo, just remember it's not necessary to smile. You do whatever the fuck you want to do. Look concerned. Close your eyes. The only thing you shouldn't be doing is duck facing, because that's not an emotion. You know how I feel today? Duck face. That's what duck facing sounds like. Instead of say cheese, say Yeah, fuck off. Really though, have a good one. Later.